I just spent $1 trillion in a single afternoon. That is $1,000 billion, or enough money to fund the entire United States military for nearly 2 years. Most people think money is just paper. It is not. Money is energy. It is a measurement of how much influence you can exert on the physical world. Today, I am the most influential person on the planet. My bank balance is a sequence of 12 zeros. 1 trillion. If I spent $1 million every single day, it would take me 2,700 years to reach zero. I do not have that kind of time, so I decided to burn it all before sunset. The first stop was infrastructure. I looked at the crumbling bridges of the American Midwest. The American Society of Civil Engineers estimates that we need $2.6 trillion to fix the nation's aging infrastructure by 2029. I opened my app and wired $300 billion to the Department of Transportation. I did not ask for a plaque. I did not ask for a ceremony. I just wanted the steel to hold. That is $300 billion gone. My bank balance is now $700 billion. Next, I looked at the stars. Space travel is the ultimate vanity project, but it is also the ultimate insurance policy. I called up SpaceX and Blue Origin. I told them to pool their resources and build a permanent lunar colony. I dropped $200 billion into the escrow account. That is enough to launch 1,000 Falcon Heavies and establish a base that could theoretically support human life for a century. We are no longer a single planet species. That is 500 billion spent. Half of my trillion is gone. The afternoon sun was hitting the window, and I felt a strange sense of detachment. Money at this scale stops feeling like currency and starts feeling like math. I looked at the global climate crisis. Carbon capture technology is currently too expensive to scale effectively. It costs about $600 to remove 1 ton of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. I took $200 billion and invested it into a massive global network of direct air capture plants. If my math is right, we could remove 300 million tons of carbon from the air annually. That is a dent. It is not a cure, but it is a start. My balance is now 300 billion. By 4 in the afternoon, I was bored with the good stuff. I decided to get reckless. I looked at the global art market. The most expensive painting ever sold is the Salvator Mundi by Leonardo da Vinci, which went for $450 million in 2017. That is pocket change. I bought the entire inventory of the Louvre, the Met, and the Tate Modern. Well, I didn't buy the buildings, but I bought the rights to every masterpiece within them. I paid $200 billion to essentially nationalize the world's artistic heritage. It is now mine. I am holding the Mona Lisa, the Starry Night, and the persistence of memory in a vault that only I have the key to. My bank balance is now 100 billion. I had 1 hour left. I sat down and looked at the global poverty statistics. The World Bank estimates that it would cost roughly $30 billion per year to end world hunger. I am a trillionaire for one day. I decided to make that number permanent. I wired $100 billion into a perpetual trust designed to fund agricultural tech and food distribution networks for the next 3 decades. It is not a handout, it is a system. And then the balance hit zero. The screen flashed a calm, neutral white. My accounts were empty. I had spent $1 trillion in 6 hours. I sat in my chair and looked out the window. Nothing had really changed. The sun was still setting, the traffic was still moving. The world felt exactly as heavy as it did that morning. We fetishize the billionaire. We think that if someone had $1 trillion, they could fix everything. We imagine a utopia bought with a credit card, but the truth is much colder. $1 trillion is a drop in the ocean of human complexity. It is enough to build a base on the moon. It is enough to buy every painting in Paris. It is enough to feed 1 billion people, but it is not enough to change the fundamental direction of human nature. If you have $1 trillion, you don't become a god. You just become the person with the largest pile of consequences. You become the person who is responsible for the things that cannot be fixed with a wire transfer. We spend our lives chasing numbers on a screen, assuming that a certain digit will unlock a version of reality where we are finally in control. But control is an illusion sold to us by the people who want our time. I spent $1 trillion today, and I have never felt more ordinary. Money is a tool for building, but it is a terrible tool for meaning. It can move mountains, but it cannot move hearts. It can buy the art, but it cannot paint the picture. It can build the rocket, but it cannot tell you why you want to leave the planet in the first place. As the sun disappeared behind the horizon, I realized the most expensive thing I purchased today wasn't the moon base or the masterpieces. It was the realization that I am still exactly who I was when I started. We are all looking for a shortcut to significance. We think that if we just had more, we would finally be enough. But even at 1 trillion, the math doesn't add up. What would you do if you were me? Would you save the world, or would you realize that the world doesn't want to be saved by a spreadsheet? Money is just paper. The only thing that is truly limited is the time you have left to spend it. Don't wait until you have 1 trillion to decide what your life is actually worth, because in the end, the balance always hits zero. The question isn't what you can buy with that time, it's who you become while you're spending it.